Welcome to a journey into yoga. I'm Susan Rubenstein. Today we'll be exploring the breath with movement. It's nice to find our flow in breathing and connect it with movements in the body. It brings the union together, and that's actually one of the definitions of yoga. Yoga meaning union, bringing the body, also the mind, and the breath together. So we'll be exploring some of that today during the usage of the yoga poses and how we can find our breath in order to feel sensations within the body. So with that being said, if you're new to yoga, welcome. Really all you need is to be in comfortable clothing. You don't need any shoes and socks. It's nice to have a yoga mat because it just gives you support and it has a little stickiness to it so you don't slide, say if you're doing this on carpet or on the floor, on hardwood floor. Also have a water bottle nearby, just in case you should get thirsty. And go at your own pace. If something doesn't feel right to you, if it's more than just a discomfort, if it's painful, then you need to pull back. You need to reassess and just pause. Sometimes it's nice just to watch something the first time through and then join the second time around. So also, just a couple things to keep in mind. With yoga, this yoga is usable for pretty much all levels. It's not going to be too fast. It'll be a nice, even flow. But if you feel like, I just need to run this by my doctor and see if this something is a good idea for me to do, you may want to check that out before you join us. Make sure everything is okay, and then come on and take a few deep breaths with us. So we're going to start focusing on our feet. So as we spread our toes, it gives us the opportunity to feel very strong, very lifted. Now in spreading the toes, I want you to close your eyes and you begin to notice when you're standing completely balanced throughout the bottom of your foot, you feel grounded, you feel centered. It's a nice way to slow down an active body, just pausing to be still. And with this stillness comes a quiet mind. So in yoga, we invite the mind to be present and be in the moment and in the movements that we do. Now, with that being said, I'm going to have you take your hands onto your belly. So I'm going to take you through a 3-part breath, and then you can decide which part of that you're going to use today. Let's start with our hands onto our belly. Now, nothing above or below our belly is going to move when we breathe. But when we do breathe, we breathe into our hands. So the belly moves out, it expands. And then when we exhale, the belly moves in. Let's do that again. Inhaling, the belly moves out. Exhaling, the belly moves in. Inhaling, the belly moves out. And exhaling, the belly moves in. Now, let's take our hands up higher. So right along our rib cage, we'll take the thumbs to the back of the ribs. The other 4 fingers kind of fit around the waist area. So again, it's nice to close the eyes to feel what we're experiencing. So we're going to inhale. Now, as the ribs expand out laterally, the breath carries them into the hands. And then we exhale. So reminding ourselves again, everything is to be still above and below the ribs. Good. Do that a few times, just noticing your breath. Good. Now, the last piece, the last part to this is taking our hands, placing them up onto our chest, right along here where our clavicle bones are. We're going to take our thumbs, slide them underneath our arms, right up into the armpit. So if you look, it's like you're holding onto a pair of suspenders. Now, we're just going to move this upper chest, but nothing above or below it. So again, closing the eyes. Observing that movement, nice and easy. So we hold a lot of tension in our belly, in our abdomen, and in our chest. So when we get stressed, that seems to be where it goes. So this is a nice way just to slow down and feel calm. And then relax. So you can take those 3 breaths. You can focus on one. You can kind of move through each layer, doing that exercise in your mind. Or you can just feel a nice, easy, slow breath coming in through the nose and out through the nose. All right, let's add some movement. So turn your hands out. We're going to open the hands up. Inhale, lift. Look up to the thumbs. Soft release to the head, and then exhale the hands in. Doing that again, inhaling to come up, exhaling, and again, inhaling to come up, exhaling. Good. One more time, inhaling and exhaling. Now, we're going to inhale, reach up first. Now from here, I'm going to have you bend your knees and then slide your fingers down to the floor. Now, as they come towards the floor, notice the spine is like a table. For some of you, you might stay here. For the rest of you, you'll fold forward, tipping the head down to the ground. Now, with the head tipping down to the ground, the back of the legs are long. The belly is brought in. Now, bending the knees, we're going to scoop forward as if we're lifting something precious from the earth. We draw up, and then hands come in. So let's do that again. Soft bend in the knees, just to give us that energy, lifting up through the legs, through the hands. Fold forward, taking it halfway down or all the way down. Bend the knees, scoop forward, inhale, reach and rise up. Lift the front of your ribs and exhale the hands in. Let's add on. Inhale to come up. Exhale. If you're coming all the way down, put your hands onto your shins. And then inhale, we're going to bring our spine out into table, lifting with our heart. Exhaling, we're folding down. Let's repeat that again. Inhale to come out. Exhale to lower. One more time, inhaling to come out. Exhale, as we lower, we're going to unfold the hands and just rest them against the earth. Soft bend in the knees so we feel supported. Palms facing towards the sky. And now bending the knees, we scoop up, lifting up into the day, and then exhaling. Inhale to lift up. Now, bending the knees, we're going to reach back behind us, sliding the chest against the thighs. We reach back. And then inhale, sweep the arms out in front. We come up. We're going to come back down again. Ready? Bend the knees, floating forward. Take the hands back. Inhale, feel the energy move up through the legs. Exhale, coming down. One last time. Inhale to come all the way up. Exhale, as we're coming down, we're reaching back, floating the hands back behind us. Pause for a few breaths. And then sweep the hands forward, come all the way up again. Exhale, hands in. Good. So now let's begin to move on. Inhale, reach. Circle the arms out, forward folds. Inhale, slide your hands to your shins, lift your heart. Now as you exhale, pour forward. Step back with your right leg. Now the knee is going to come down onto the ground, untuck your toes. Notice I do have a blanket behind me, so you might feel like the blanket gives you a little bit extra support underneath your knee. Place your hand on your thigh, sweep the arm up. Now, slowly 4 times, let's circle this arm around. Coming up and through, opening through the chest, breathing in, and breathing out. Stretch out through your fingers, opening your hand in a 5-pointed star, and then carry the arm up and let the other arm follow. So as we're moving forward into the hips, we're lifting the ribs up. Breathing in, we feel length. Breathing out, we feel the depth of the pose. Now from here, come forward. Setting your hand down under your shoulder, turning towards the bent knee, we're going to come up and start to twist. So we're stacking the arms, reaching the fingers right up to the sky. Breathing deep into our belly. And just observing how the body feels as we combine the breath with movement. Floating the hand down. Remind yourself that the breath is always constant. Coming up. And then release the arms down. Good. Now, we're going to take our front leg, bring it right underneath our hip, sit down, take our hands forward, slide them forward, and come into what we call child's pose. Now, as the forehead touches down, you can always bring your hands right along the side of your feet. This is a nice way to bring about a quiet spine. So we want to think about bringing nourishment to the body with each breath. And again, quiet our thoughts, the conversation, the dialogue that we have naturally with ourselves. Now, the hands are going to come underneath the shoulders to lift you up into table. Now that you're in table, inhale, peek out towards me, and then exhale, carefully round into your back body. Let's do that again. Inhale to come out. Exhale, belly comes in. 2 more times, inhaling, exhaling. 1 more time, taking a deep breath in, and then finding your way into table. Now, walk your hands back, come up nice and tall. Bring your arms down. Now, this is where we need to take the leg and swing it forward. So now we're coming back into our lunge. You might kind of have to just push it along to get there. Hand goes onto your thigh. We come into our hips. Back leg is nice and straight. Circle the arm up. And then fully around. Reaching up. Sweeping it around. Coming up. Sweeping it around. And again, coming up. And sweeping it around. Good. Now, inhale, reach. Exhale, lengthen. Shoulders relax. Now, start to come forward. So, letting the breath invite movement into the body. Spread the toes on your front foot so you're feeling the connection to the ground. And then release the hand down. Taking the front foot back again. Now, I'm going to just move this blanket off to the side. You'll either return to child's pose or you'll walk your hands forward of the shoulders, tuck the toes under, and then start to come into what we call downward facing dog. So now, as we're moving the body into an inverted V, we're yielding into the hands, and as we push through the hands, we're also reaching back through the legs. Nice, slow, deep breath here. This is a wonderful way to strengthen and tone the body, but it's also a great way just to restore the body of energy. It's good to hang the head upside down. Now, we're going to start to walk our feet and our hands together. Let our upper body just hang forward like a rag doll. If you need a little more support, bend your knees. Now, bend the knees deeper. Come up. Lift up nice and tall. Bring the chest up and bring your hands in. Good. So we're going to step to the front of the mat. Now, I'm going to introduce you to what we call Vinyasa. So Vinyasa is flow. It's linking one pose to the other with your breath. So you may want to watch first and then join along. We're going to inhale to come up. As we exhale, we take our forward folds. Inhale, step your right leg back. Knee down, untuck, heart rises. Now as we exhale, the hands go forward. You can go back into child's pose or slide right into downward facing dog. Once you've emptied out the breath, take a deep breath in, step your right foot forward. Take the knee down, come up through the chest. Now we go through our exhalation, hands down, step up, forward folds. Inhale, lift to rise up. Exhale, hands in. So notice how it brings more energy into the body. We'll do this a few more times. Inhale. Part the hands, fold forward. Inhale, right leg back, knee down, heart rises. Exhaling, hands forward of the shoulders. Take the leg back, downward facing dog. Inhaling, step forward, knee down, heart rises. So we're always alternating sides. Exhaling, hands down, tuck the toes, step up, forward fold, head down. Leading with the heart, lift up. Use the energy in the legs. Exhale. Let's take this through one more time. Inhale. Notice how you're feeling more energy surge through the body. Your breath might even start to quicken. Step back through your right leg. Come up. Big inhalation. And then exhale, pouring into downward facing dog. Reaching the hips back. Stepping forward. Knee drops down. Heart rises. Bringing your hands down. Toe tucks. Step up. Drop forward. And then scoop, lift. Exhale. So this is a great way to build energy, endurance, and stamina. So you may want to just find that vinyasa is something easy to follow. You can do 3, 4, 5, 10 rounds of that, depending how much heat and energy you want to bring into your body. All right. So now we're going to reach up. Just to build some strength into our legs, we're going to come down into what we call awkward chair. So work your hips back as if you were sitting on a stool. Now as the knees bend, you want to keep the knees from passing the toes. So really use your hips, your thighs. Arms are going to reach either up by your ears, or if that's too much on your shoulders, work on opening your chest. So feel what works for you, especially in that upper body. Now we're balancing, so we're using the balls and heels of the feet for this. Ribs are lifted, belly is brought in, so we're feeling nice and strong. Now straighten the legs, fold forward. So even not going very deep on that, you're going to feel it in your thighs. Good. Now scoop forward, come up, and exhale. So a piece that's really important to our everyday routine and activity is balance. We always need to find time each and every day to balance. So as we move into that, just a couple suggestions. If you feel like your mat is just not the right surface for you and you want to step off onto the floor, you can do that. Sometimes it's better to stand on a flat floor, something that's tile or wood, because if it's too thick with carpet, it's a little too squishy and you're not going to have the full support. Now, back to our feet. Spread your toes. The balls and heels of the feet are the foundation. So if you think about a tree and you have the trunk, then you have the roots. The roots grow into the ground. That's how the bottom of your foot's going to feel. Now, speaking of trees, that's the pose we're going to move into. In yoga, we call that Vrksasana. So we're going to bring our hands together. Just looking out in front of you. Look at something that's not moving, something that's not going to distract your mind. And then our weight's going to be centered on our left foot as we bend the right knee. Now the knee is going to turn. You're going to take the foot to the inside of the leg, either above or below the knee. If you have tight hips like I do, I find it more comfortable to keep the foot below the knee so I'm not agitating the hip. Once you get your concentration, you can begin to grow your branches. And then use the breath to remain still. And sweep the arms in. And slowly release the foot to the floor. Good. If you felt a little twinge in your hip, cross over and get a nice stretch going onto your side. And now as we explore the other side, again, get your footing, your foundation. Always go back to the basic principles of what we're doing, how we started, how we built. That's why sometimes yoga at a nice slow pace is more enjoyable and easier to learn than if we were coming into a class that was very quick and rapid with flow, such as the vinyasa that we did. All right, hands together. Gazing out, empty the mind. The mind is going to want to wander. Just focus. Feeling the bottom of your foot. We turn the knee out, walking the foot up. Once we get our position, we feel lifted ribs from hips. We can grow the branches and extend. Steadying ourselves, we breathe in and we breathe out. Take your time. Hands come in and foot touches the earth. Nice. So let's cross over and then take a nice stretch to our side. And come back to center. Beautiful. Now let's reach up. Exhale. Let's circle some breath around us into our body. Exhaling. Sometimes it just feels good to stretch the arms, the ribs, and empty out those lungs. Good, and release. All right, so we're going to come down to seated as we move towards the end of our practice. Now, the reason why I have a blanket, it's not just for the opportunity to give you a little bit of support underneath your knee when we're doing kneeling poses, but if you find that your hips are really tight and just sitting on the floor just kind of pulls towards the front of where your hip flexor is, sitting on a blanket with a little bit of a lift can be very, very helpful. So I'm going to choose that. You would want to just bring your sits bones right at the base of the buttocks onto that blanket. Now, we're going to keep the legs fully extended, opening the arms. Inhale. Now coming into a forward fold, we're going to take it down. You can reach for the bottoms of the feet or slide your index and middle finger around your big toe. Elbow folds, or turns rather, out to the side, and we fold forward. Head and neck are relaxed. If you feel like this is too extreme, try bending your knees. And then just breathe in and breathe out. Nice long spine. Head follows the extension of the neck, and the neck follows the extension of the spine. And then come up. Good. Now, arms down. Slide your foot in. Foot can stay to the inside of the leg or come across. We're going to open up the outside of the hip and then give ourselves a nice twist. So we're going to reach up, elbow to the outside of the knee as we turn. We want to turn from the chest, from the part of the spine, the thoracic spine that is meant to move through a twist, but try to keep those hips facing forward. Nice long reach out through your leg. And we'll breathe. Breathing in and breathing out. So this is also great, not only to release tension in your back and in your hips, but it's a good way to release a bellyache. Or if you're feeling stressed, and you got a lot of butterflies moving around in your belly, twists are really good to relax the belly, to calm the belly, to move more towards the parasympathetic nervous system than the fight or flight that a lot of us feel each day. And then we're going to come out and just neutralize your spine for a moment. And then we come around to the other side. So bring the leg across if it feels good. Sit up tall, hand behind you for support. We reach, tuck the elbow under, and breathe. Breathing in and breathing out. So as you're drawing the breath into your belly, we want to reach through the heel. And let it go. All right. Moving now, our feet together This is called cobbler pose. So as our feet come together, we're just going to hold just around the ankles or slightly above, opening our knees out to the side. We want to sit up nice and tall. Now, if it feels good, you can walk your fingertips out. Just keep your collarbones nice and open. Relax the shoulders. Belly is drawn in. And then take your hands onto your knees. Good. Now, cross your ankles. I'm going to sit up nice and tall. Roll the shoulders out. Float your ear over to the side. Relax the shoulder. Let your forehead drop back a little bit as you look up. Breathing along the side of your neck. And then look out, letting your chin just kind of slide down to your chest for a moment and relax. And then easing the head over to the other side. Relax the shoulders. And then releasing the head down. We're going to come up through the arms, bringing our head center. Slowly look up towards the ceiling and bring our hands in. So as we move through the final moments of our practice, if you feel like you need to do just a couple more things, you can move maybe a little bit into a few twists. But give yourself time at the end of your yoga practice, even if it's just for a couple minutes, to sit quietly, to mindfully just pause. Meditation is and can be one of the most challenging parts of a yoga practice. But it's really important that we take the time, just like we practice balance every day, just to sit quietly with ourselves, just for a couple moments, with our breath, and then just connect with ourselves, the union of body, mind, and breath coming together. So I thank you for joining me on this journey. As we bring our hands together, I invite you to join me in sharing the word Namaste.
Funding for Simsbury Community Television is provided in part by contributions from viewers like you. Thank you.